From being scared of some dust in a cup to having an uncontrollable fear of belly buttons, there are some celebrities with the weirdest fears ever. For starters, if you're afraid of a breakfast food item, turn to Martin Freeman for support. To be fair, he has an insane fear of choking. I mean, nobody wants to go through it, but his fear is so bad that he can't even look at certain foods, such as fruits. Why? Well, because it just makes him too uncomfortable. He elaborated on a specific example on the Graham Norton show, saying that every time he sees an avocado, or cuts it, he envisions it lodged in his windpipe.
I have an avocado. Every time I cut through an avocado and I see the stone, I envisage that stone being lodged in my windpipe.
So he physically cringes and just can't stand the sight of the popular white girl breakfast item. His way of coping? Just don't eat them. But that's not the worst part of it. Liam Payne is scared to death when it comes to spoons. Nope, I'm not talking about spooning, just a plain old spoon. I mean, where does such a phobia even come from? In Liam's case, apparently, it stemmed from his childhood.
I have a strange fear of spoons. Ever since I was little, I've never been able to use a spoon, so I don't eat soup.
When he was a kid, he was a bit naughty, and naughty kids get punished, of course. So his punishment was that he had to do the dishes. Washing all those nasty spoons just stuck with him after. He no longer wants anyone to tell him about their spoon business. Maybe the fans can chase after him with the spoon next time they want to catch him off guard. But honestly, this makes you wonder how many random objects could evoke fear in a person. I mean, if I were to shove a houseplant in someone's face, it could give them a heart attack. And before you think that's absurd, I'm talking about an actual person here. Christina Ricci, the star of the popular Netflix show Wednesday, absolutely hates houseplants.
Well, here's a little welcome gift from my conservatory. I try to match the right flower to each of my girls. And when I read your personal statement in your application, I immediately thought of this one.
She's opened up about her fear of indoor plants and just how much they freak her out, to the point where she never wants to touch them, ever. Now, this strange fear definitely weirded me out a bit, but when I heard about Rita Ora's fear of toilets, all my other concerns went down the drain.
I have a whole bathroom in the bedroom. Look at this. This is the bathroom in the same room.
I know phobias can be really bad. They can literally alter the course of your everyday routine, but toilets? Rita has some explaining to do. She said that whenever she goes to one, she fears that something is going to pop out of the bottom. I'm not going to lie. That's a pretty rational fear. The singer has this idea that the tunnel beneath her in the toilet starts from somewhere and anything could just travel through it and pop out. One of her ways of coping is to always put the light on wherever she goes. I mean, going to the toilet can sometimes be stressful enough as it is, and I assume that this phobia just makes it tougher. You usually hear about someone being afraid of cats, dogs, or all animals, something common if I may. But boy oh boy, these celebrities have had some unique experiences. Because how can somebody be afraid of birds? Now, I've heard of people despising birds and doing everything they can to avoid them, but Scarlett Johansson functions a little differently. She's scared of these flying creatures. One asked what about them bothers her, she said something about the wings and beaks flapping, and honestly, understandable. I was a bit surprised she didn't mention them pooping up in the air. The actress opened up about her lifelong fear, saying that it's something she hasn't been able to get over, no matter how hard she's tried. In fact, when she did the movie We Bought a Zoo, the peacocks absolutely terrified her.
When are you gonna have those babies?
You guys making dinner?
No.
Well, let me help you. I'll order a pizza or
No,
something.
it's fine. Dad'll be back soon. She's having a mood.
And she'd scream at them not to get too close. I can only imagine how chaotic that shoot was. And speaking of flying creatures, butterflies are all the rage. Not in a good way though. Two very popular celebrities have a horrible fear of these little critters with colorful wings. The Oscar winner Nicole Kidman is first on the list, and she's had the fear for as long as she could remember. to the point where she couldn't enter her own house through the front gate if one was sitting on it. Nicole would literally climb over the fence, crawl around the side of the house, and then enter. All this just to avoid a butterfly. Over the course of her life, she's tried to get over it, and has even done much scarier things, like jump out of planes or be covered by cockroaches. But some things just don't go away. Kylie Jenner also came clean about this same fear. It's called lepidopterophobia.
It's kind of just ironic because I'm terrified of butterflies.
Of all butterflies?
All butterflies.
And it scares the crap out of her. Ironically, her baby daddy Travis Scott once gifted her a diamond-studded butterfly necklace. I guess you can get over any fear if it comes wrapped in diamonds. This fear of butterflies still makes sense though, because Kylie's other fear is only going to confuse you. She's afraid of dust in a cup. Listen, I don't even want to know what caused this phobia, but the beauty mogul revealed on Ellen that it's her strangest fear. In fact, one of her biggest pet peeves is when a bunch of dust starts collecting in an empty cup. Something about that just gets to her. Now I have a concerning set of questions. Where in the world does she live to have that much dust accumulate in a cup? Doesn't she have people cleaning up after her? Why can't she just clean the cup and move on? I want answers. Now, I'd ask her family, but it seems like Khloe Kardashian has her own weird demons to battle with. This one, I just couldn't comprehend. It's either super funny or super embarrassing, depending on how you look at it. The reality star admitted her biggest phobia of all time, and it's a pretty touchy subject for her. She hates belly buttons.
And I don't know how much closer you're gonna get.
I'm just uncomfortable.
Your belly button is tiny. That's
belly
like,
button?
That is like my pet peeve. Mine is so big.
What do you mean? I hate belly buttons.
And has made one boundary very clear in all her relationships and friendships. She won't touch yours as long as you promise to never come close to hers. Guys, it's so bad that she wears hand mitts in the shower and screams every time she washes her belly button. Trust me, if I was a Kar Jenner sister, I would know exactly what button to push to get her to stop. But Khloe's weird phobia doesn't even come close to Megan Fox's fears. Speaking to Jimmy Fallon, the actress has opened up about being afraid of the dark. Pretty standard, right? But get this, she's also scared of dry paper. And this is where it gets a little crazy. She keeps a glass of water beside her when she's reading to wet the paper slightly when she wants to turn the page. Megan compared it to nails being dragged across a chalkboard. If the paper isn't laminated, she'll keep licking her fingers and keep flipping through the pages. I guess everyone has their quirks. And that brings me to the queen and legend, Rihanna. Riri blew our minds with her Super Bowl performance on a platform high above the ground. While her biggest fear clearly isn't height, the singer isn't that fond of fish. It's kind of surprising, to be honest, since she grew up around water, but Rihanna has an insane fear of fish. She said she's super scared of sea creatures, even tiny little ones. Once, when she was in Barbados, the water was clear under her feet. She saw tiny fish swimming around her feet and had a panic attack. In fact, she froze so badly that someone actually had to lift her out of the water. Talk about making a splash. Anyway, these were the celebrities with the weirdest phobias.